Welcome to Business Link York and North Yorkshire. If you are thinking of starting a business, or you've already begun the process of starting and beginning a fresh business, then this information is going to be enormously valuable and helpful for you. I'm very fortunate today to be in the company of Duncan Lewis, who is a startup business advisor with Business Link York and North Yorkshire, and he has more than 10 years of experience of helping literally hundreds of businesses like your own to grow and to develop beyond their startup stage. As an organisation, Business Link York and North Yorkshire now has more local support and resources than ever before to help you with your fresh or startup business to take it to the next level. Come and have a look at our website, www.hereforbusiness.co.uk, where the 4 is a number in the middle of that phrase. We have great resources that you can access immediately to take your business to the next level. Having a great business idea is such an important aspect of becoming an entrepreneur and launching your own venture. But I understand, Duncan, that people have got to have more than that eureka moment when they get excited and they say, I want to put a business together. What should they start thinking about at that stage?
I think it's important to start by asking myself lots of questions, and they cover a range of different issues. Probably the first of these questions is, am I prepared? Am I prepared in terms of the hard work, the long hours, the long days that I'm going to be working? Do I have the support structures around me, the support of family and friends? Have I considered the risks? There are risks inherent in starting a new start business in terms of financial risks and the time that you're allocating for this project. And all of those need to be answered, but in addition, the most important question is probably trying to work out at this stage, is this business viable? Have I got here a potentially successful business, or really just an enjoyable hobby?
And now that they've scrutinised their business idea and they know they want to go ahead and they've weighed up all the sort of pros and cons and they've looked at the risks, what's the next step?
The next stage would be to evaluate the idea itself, to really do some market research, and market research in itself, incidentally, is an ongoing activity. You don't just start it before a business starts, it continues once the business is up and running. And by asking lots more questions by doing that market research.
What sort of questions do you think they should be asking, Duncan?
Well, one of the questions that I might ask is there a gap in the market? Now, it's not essential to answer that question because you could have many other competitors. I sometimes say to my clients, if they say that they've identified a gap in the market, I would answer that by saying, is there a market in the gap? It doesn't automatically follow. But the research should try to answer such questions as looking at your potential customers. Who are they? Looking at your existing competitors and looking at aspects like pricing. All those are very, very important at this early stage to try and get the answers to.
How can somebody access further support and guidance on getting started from Business Link York and North Yorkshire?
Yeah, we can give a huge amount of information, and there's an enormous number of resources available. And just one of them is looking at the workshops and seminars that we offer. There is, in fact, a more in-depth Getting Ready for Business workshop, which you can access, for example, by calling the Information Centre on 01904 686 000.
Once somebody's done their research and they're convinced that the idea is going to be viable and it's going to work for them, is it time now to get the show on the road? And if it is, where on earth do they start the process?
I think they have to choose a business name, and a business name really is a priority. The advice here to give at this stage would be to choose something clear and relevant to the business, ideally unique. And of course, if they're going to have a website, which is increasingly popular now, the domain name has to be unique. But again, it's doing all the necessary research in some of the obvious places to look at who has what name and what name is available.
And I understand there's a different sort of trading status that a business can adopt. Perhaps you can explain that to me in a little bit more detail.
Yes, before you commence trading, you have to adopt what's called a trading status. Now, there are many different types of trading status. I think it's fair to say that probably 4 of the most common types would be sole trader, partnership, limited company, and limited liability partnership. And each one of those has their own sort of pros and cons. You need to look into that and decide which one is most appropriate for your business.
And at this stage in the game, Duncan, are there any other cost implications that a fresh start business should be considering about where they go?
Probably the main one at this stage would be not to forget insurances. Again, there are different types of insurances, and again, you can access the Business Link website to find out a lot of information on insurances. But because there are a range, there's too many to talk about now, but that's a cost implication already for a startup business.
And who do people need to register their businesses with in terms of their trading status or getting started?
Well, again, if you decide to adopt for sole trader or partnership status, then you need to register with what's called HMRC, which is Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs. And you have a 3-month window in which to register your business. If, of course, you're a limited company or a limited liability partnership, then it's important that you register with Companies House in London.